Ah, there we go. So I'm talking for 30 minutes already. No one is hearing me. My microphone is always turned on. That's why I never bother to check. But hello, thank you for the tip, by the way. But occasionally my daughter gets on my chair and plays with the. There's a thing where you can turn the microphone off. It's on the cord cable, and she plays with it. So she turns it off, and for some reason I just never bothered to check. Which is I should probably make a pre-stream checklist. Um, yeah, it's the same as next week or last week. Sorry. So yeah, I probably should make a checklist. I always make sure to check whether my tablet works, because I've had times where I started to stream and my tablet just didn't work, so I had to reboot my system. So I always make sure to check whether it works. But I thought, you know what, this is just this once with the microphone. It's gonna work out perfectly. And I had this mental note in my head, make sure that it works. But for some reason, I didn't bother to check. I checked last Friday. I think I streamed last Friday as well. Well, after you made the post. I think it's you that made a post, right? So I checked it once, but after that I didn't. Well, anyway, I was rambling on about going to space and the International Space Station and stuff like that. The good thing is I don't have to think about what I want to talk about, because I can just repeat what I just said for the last half an hour, and it will be all be new. That's good. I should do this more often. I can just recycle my thoughts. I was just basically talking about that space is the, as it says in Star Trek, the final frontier, and people are always sort of looking into this new thing to explore. And I think a lot of people think that Earth is basically been explored, so start to look elsewhere. And I think that's what sparks the interest in space. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not sure what to do with this one. I think I have to worry a lot more about the city. Yeah, let's try to get in an interesting city. I think the buildings can be a lot bigger, a lot more bigger buildings than that currently are. And later we'll probably throw in some textures. Get some lights on the buildings. It's like that. We probably want some buildings on the foreground here as well. So they fly. I don't know. Let's see. Ah, this sucks, because now I want to. Just sorry for that. I'm gonna turn off the sort of the full screen window now, because I want to switch brushes and I don't know which button I have to press to. Oops. I don't want this. I want that. Which button I have to press to bring up the brush selector? figure that out, because then we can stay in full screen mode. And I think we want some bring in some variation. Color, and a little bit darker. There we go. I think we need to do the same here and side as well. And this will be a little interesting. Bigger buildings. I think we're gonna have to repaint the spaceship, or not necessarily. Can delete him out of the selection. See to select this. To stay here as well. It's probably alright. Yeah, I think that makes it quite a lot more interesting. Make some buildings on the foreground. Come up with some interesting designs. Interesting designs. That's way too dark. Oops, I forgot to select ship. We don't have to be too careful with the selection, because we have to design the ship anyway, so just have to make sure that there is a ship so that we know we have to work on it. Let's get rid of this as well. Basically the same color. We need something different. This will quickly take some coffee. I kind of want to have a border to this sort of a highway or road. So I want to change the color of this thing. Let's quickly just spaceship here. We will worry about the shapes later. So let's just I know this was a thumbnail sketch, but it's sort of basically redoing the whole thing, almost. Excuse me. We'll keep the composition, or most of it. But I think it's more interesting with some bigger buildings. Yeah, and then we can lighten. It's gonna be lighter. That green. dark. That. Do I want this big ship in the middle? Not sure. It blocks a lot of the background. Maybe we have to move it up. Instead of it being here, if we put it here, for instance. Quick. This one. What if we had it here? These say, let's make it a Millennium Falcon. Probably shouldn't do that, but something like that, and then we can get rid of this one, and then we can build the city there. But I think I'm gonna put this one last, because we want to work on the background first. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Change it up a little. The idea remains the same, but the camera angle just slightly changes. A little bit. Well, the camera angle actually stays the same, but just change the ship. Quite like all these stars, but you can bring them back if you want to. This one definitely gets the most dramatic change out of all of them. The other ones didn't really change that much. This building's maybe a little bit too big. I don't know. Get some smaller ones in there as well. Let's just keep adding. And we can probably change the remnants of the spaceship as well. So I'm not really happy with this middle section. I'm quite happy with both the sides. Maybe it's because these sides have some texture to it, and that's why they come alive a little bit better. So yeah, but this is gonna be the main area we'll be looking at, so we have to make sure that this is gonna look okay later. Let's add in the ship. Start with just a basic shape. Then go from there. In terms of perspective, I think there. And maybe add some variations to it. Something like that. I'm not sure if it works. Let's turn on the layer, turn on and off the layer. Then you can see this one got a dramatic change. The rest just extra detail. Nothing, not much else. Not sure how happy I am with these changes. I think if we want to do this, we have to get rid of this this guy. So let's do that. Because then we can, if you want, we can expand to the left of the painting. And let's select that. Bit like this, then we so obvious. I think that's better. And then we'll add maybe some sign or whatever. We'll add something of interest there. I'm still not really happy with the middle section here. I'm gonna add some texture to that. I'm not sure which texture I used for the rest of that city. Probably try to figure that out by opening the original. These are the original thumbnail sketches. I decided to go for these four. Get rid of that one and that one. Those were the ones I thought were the least interesting. No, I already merged everything, so I can't really figure out. No, I don't want to save it. Which one it was? Some city. This one. Probably something like this. So let's just throw that on there and use that as our way to city. Interesting. I think colored dodge is probably the best one. Definitely. And as you can see, that makes the city a lot more interesting right away. Let's get rid of some of it. Select thing. Eraser out. Pick a soft brush. and just raise around the edges so we get softer edges. Down here. There we go. We have lights to the city. If you want, we can copy it and move it around to add it to different places. I think that works fine. I think we can copy it once more. Here, that one there, and then here, slightly bit. Saturate it a little bit. So that's a really quick way to make your city a little bit more alive. Still have to do some painting, of course, or a lot of painting. So yeah, this one changed quite dramatically from this to this, but I think it's a good change. I've been live for almost an hour, so I'm gonna take a short break. We're gonna merge all of it, I think. No, not all of it. That there. And I'm gonna take a short break, and after the break, I will continue. Okay, see you in a bit. And I am back. Let's continue with the paintings. What shall we do next? Sure. First, take a sip of coffee. Just contemplate my life. I think I'm gonna work on this one on the top for a little bit. I kind of want to add the city here, so probably it might be a good idea to still have it open down here. Copy this here, and so to do the same with this one. So bring in some texture. Color dodge. Screen. Color dodge is quite strong, but I quite like it as well. Get some nice dots of lights on the thing there. The problem is we have to get rid of most of it. It's a bit too much at this point. We can save that. And what if we flip it? Like this. Can get rid of the entire bottom here. Still have some of it left here on the ship, not too much, but enough to have some nice, interesting lighting. Let's get rid of two out of place. There we go. So we can collapse it. Unlock this layer, collapse these two. Lock the layer. Can start painting again. Is my brush still? I think it fixed itself. Right? Had a small issue with the brush. I think it's gone. It was size. It's gone. Wow! It somehow fixed itself. Don't know how. Maybe because I worked there. I should. Let's try to design this thing first before. So bit insect-like. Kinda cool. It's floating, but it has these to grab stuff. Maybe use them to fly somehow. Let's try to get in another of some sort. This So nasty, nasty gun. Goes for that one. I'm not sure what to do with this back side thingy. Some colors on the legs. Front here as well, as maybe. So this is sort of a mix between sort of bioengineering, bionics, all this between biology and technology. Have some with the lasso tool to make it better. Nice selection. Get these ribs, or rib cage thingy. Figure out how this side works, and we still need to figure out something. Back. I think we're gonna add shells of armor like pieces. Separate. So set that here. It's getting there a bit. Then we have this sort of this belly. It's like a soft belly. Okay. I don't know. So continue armor design across this side. Across the back as well. It also needs some form of propulsion. So, about that for a while. I'm struggling with the backside. I think we're just gonna let it fade in the distance. The trick to hide it there. Darker. And maybe we should try to separate a bit. The light separation now. Um, don't I'll make that lighter. It's a bit fog. Probably quite a clean edge what we have here, but it will sort of flow. It will get connected a little better. Maybe it is. Maybe its job is to harvest some stuff. But what does it need? It's just sort of floating there without a purpose. Things are floating without a purpose. Probably end up doing bad stuff, so let's give it purpose. Slider. I know we could make some crystals or something like that. I think this one is quite interesting actually. At first, this one was my favorite, but I'm not so sure anymore. Well, this one I also really like. But it has a lot of potential. I think still it's quite some work, but good to see when you feel like your painting has potential. Doesn't always happen. The last painting I did stream, still not happy about. But it was a good learning experience. So that's also really learn from everything that you do, and to really learn, you kind of have to make mistakes, or you have to make mistakes. That can be difficult to make mistakes and not get discouraged. Can be quite tricky. but it is the best way to learn. Because if you don't make any mistakes, you don't really make mistakes. You can say, you know what, that was a mistake. I shouldn't do it next time, and then hopefully you won't. Although, it turns out that I never really about turning my mic on for streaming, because that's what happened today. So, yeah, learn about that too. But I doubt I will make that mistake again. I probably will. Let's just say that I will, because I probably will. You can probably tell I'm not sure how to continue with this one. I also don't know how far I want to sort of finish these, or if I want to keep them sort of in a somewhat unfinished stage to or not unfinished is not, I think, in a somewhat rough stage. Probably want some guy over here. Probably a couple of guys. Mess. Maybe some people just maybe they're sort of seeing this thing. Maybe there's a path that they created in the snow. In this guy. I think it's quite dark, but it's kind of the idea. It's quite dark, of course, but I think we can light it up a little bit. Maybe I'll throw on texture. Let's see. Sunset. I want to make this more like sunset. Let's see. It's obviously way too bright. It's not good. Almost makes it darker. What if we were to do something really stupid? Like this. No, that doesn't make sense at all. There isn't really any setting that works for this one, so we have to get. We might just have to lighten it with a brush or something like that. But I feel it could be a little bit lighter, and it would be nice if you could add some cool highlights on this thing. So you know, just to make it pop a little bit more. Maybe if we just do the highlights, it will work already. Probably a little bit much. Try to redo some of it. A little bit too thick, the lines. Pick the smaller brush. Maybe we'll add some lights on the thing itself. That's probably a good idea. Let's grab a Beijing. Beijing? I don't know. A city. Throw it on here. Say Beijing, but probably something else. I don't know. Throw it on here and turn it to color Dutch, probably. Oh, it's big. It's actually quite cool. So maybe the reactor or whatever is sort of powering this thing still works. That way, got these lights coming out of it. Light. I want to put it here on. Yeah. The lights are probably a little bit too small. So maybe I should bigger. I don't know. It's not much, but a little bit, a little bit. For now, oops, let's not do that. For now, it's okay. Work on a new layer for this. Because now we have a really nice, I think we have a really nice color for our highlights. For some details. Maybe there is some stuff. Going on here and there. Maybe it has sort of leaked fuel. That's probably a good idea. Its fuel is kind of dripped into this thing here, and then it created this this pool. Wait. Yeah, I think that makes it a bit interesting. Maybe that's what they're after. Fuel. Probably quite valuable. I think. Simply. Make sure that this is sort of horizontal. Strips are vertical because of gravity. That's probably a nice little here as well. Good. fairly bright color. So maybe there was some sort of fuel. There was some fuel supply back here. Now it's all gone. Or most of it. Does this work? I think it's quite it's adding to the drama of the piece. Yeah, I think this is fine. So we probably want this ship to there's probably some light reflecting on the ship. The people. Some nice bounce light. And the same goes for here. This is probably kind of want to make this fairly bright. Flex on the top bit here. This is all bouncing the light from down below. Feel like this pool here has the perfect color. I kind of wanna get that across the entire thing. Can probably make it brighter. Not necessarily less saturated. So yeah, this is sort of really emitting a lot of light. Then we have a nice artificial light to play with. Now we can try to that. Something like that. I think it's quite okay, except for the bounce light here. I don't think it works that great. I think it's too much, a little bit too much. So let's tone it down and redo it. Or just tone it down and then get something like that. That's probably better. Maybe there's some stuff dangling in hanging here, dangling in the water. This is at 30. cables. It probably dragged something like that, so probably all that way. I think this turned into quite a nice little scene here. Quite happy with it. So let's move on to another one. Just gotta hop back and forth between these. Probably have to design these thrusters a little bit more. Should make a probably counter. Every time I say probably, it will count up and display it on screen. Just sort of creative voice recognition. That's probably some software that can do that. And then every time I say probably, it will just move up the count by one. Kind of nice. So we would have it somewhere in the bottom of the screen here, saying probably counter, and then every time I say probably, we'll add one. That would probably be cool. Yes, I said that. Yes. So this one is indoor. I have to design a little bit more here. Let's just go. Sure what to do with the pillar. We'll see. Maybe they sort of use a cave and now it purposed it into a docking bay or whatever. And I don't want to have vehicles, things like that, down here at the bottom. Maybe some way to use the ship. So instead of a pillar, we could turn this into, I don't know, building that's used for stocking. Loading ship with various stuff. We're really rough with here. Saves time and it adds texture. Can use later. Do we want another sort of docking thing? Not really. I think I want to have the ship be the main focus. Maybe we can have some sort of a ladder going from the bottom up. Sort of like with an airplane. Sort of a ladder working mobile ladder. A bunch of people walking around. Horizon line. Lighter. Yeah, I think I like this to be that. I think we're gonna keep these arches. Quite like those. Sort of ancient comparison to the modern technology, but it also sort of goes through in the design of the ship. So you have these remnants of ancient civilizations. I think that would be kind of cool. Find that. There's a missile bay, something like that there. You know, there's one thing that bothers me. This line here is the same. It's the same line here on the ship. Grab a lighter color. This line. It's the bottom of the ship and sort of the top of these things. It's bothering me a little bit. I probably should add a black layer on top. Check for values every now and then, because that's a thing you should do. Put it on saturation. I mean, we can turn it on and off. I think for the most part it's actually quite. This one can use a little bit of work, but I think most cases it's probably quite well. I think there could be some more contrast on this piece and on this piece, but we already have that with that line, and I think I want to expand on that. I think I want the background to be a bit lighter than it currently is. We have this nice separation line here. We probably should expand it a little. We add some highlights on that thing ship, and the same goes for this one. This can be lighter, but or brighter. We may make the fuel even brighter, but this is sort of a night scene, so shouldn't make it too bright. And this one, I think this one is fairly decent, but still, this one needs so much work. Probably should work on this one. But I will be streaming on Friday as well. I think on Friday, yeah, on Friday this week, Friday, and then we will continue with these. And kind of want to spend quite a lot of time today as well. I'm streaming for an hour and 40 minutes, but I kind of want to stream for at least an hour, but I'm not sure if that's viable in terms of my energy levels. I kind of have to keep check. Those who you don't know, I suffer from. Well, they thought they couldn't really find, because I was chronically fatigued. So they said you have chronic fatigue syndrome, which basically means you're fatigued, but you don't know why, and the doctors don't know why. Sure. But recently they found out that I have ADD. That's probably a really big cause for my fatigue. So yeah, I still have to be quite careful on how I spend my energy, and it's It's costing me a lot of energy to stay focused for so long. Usually I can stay focused for half an hour, maybe an hour tops, and that's it for a day. So these streams are quite taxing on my energy levels, but I also really enjoy them. So I kind of want to keep doing them, and I want to stream for longer and longer and longer. But usually it's not really viable. But I kind of want to, because I want to build a channel, and I feel that streaming for longer will help me with that. But yeah, I have to worry about my health as well, so it's a bit of a struggle sometimes. I think I'm gonna try to add some lightness to the background. It has a big light source here at the top. Can we do that? Make it a big yellow light, like so. Maybe there's one here as well, so there's sort of lights hanging from the ceiling. Probably can't really see because you're looking into the light, but like that. And then, yeah, I don't really want to paint out an entire lamp here. Because normally you wouldn't really be able to see that. Let's grab the soft brush and see if you can make this work. If not, we can always erase it. But probably should have made it on a new layer. That way it's easier to get rid of it when not happy with it. But I think we can make it work. And bit of this. Brighter. Probably less saturated. So we have a sort of a way to kind of hide the back of the ship, and we add some depth painting. I think that's a decent addition. Maybe quite big light, but maybe we should add multiple lights which are smaller instead of these two really big ones. But I kind of like the idea that there are these huge lights of, let's say, like 10 meters across at least, maybe even more. That's kind of cool. But on the other hand, lights usually have a sort of a fixed size, and it's something that we know how big it usually is. So when you look at a light, that might create the idea that this ship is actually quite tiny. So I wanna kind of want to redo the lights. So let's try to see and sort of do this. Let's get the yellow. Right. And maybe on a new layer, because then we can more easily get rid of it. Let's add a light and get that light around wherever we want. Probably should make the last one a little bit smaller. Show transform. And a little bit bigger. Bit. And the last one smaller. So this might be better. And that gives us the reason to make the floor a little bit more yellow, a little bit brighter, because of the lights at the top. So yeah, I quite like the progress that we made today. I think we, well, these are still definitely not nearly, they're not finished at all. But from the initial thumbnail that we had, I can pull it up. I think we've come quite far, especially with these two. Well, this one as well. But this one didn't really change that much. These three, well, this one just got a lot more detail. This one as well, with a bit of a change. This one got changed a whole lot, and this one just got detailed a little bit further. Currently, I think this one is it's my least favorite. Although at first, before I started, this one was definitely my favorite, but that's probably or this one at the bottom. But that's mainly the color. Now I really like this one as well. I like these two the most. I think this one has a lot of potential. But also needs a lot of work to sort of get to that potential. And let's merge all the layers. Create a new one. Let's work on this one for a bit. Alright. You know what? I'm just gonna continue, and we'll see when we end the stream. For now, I'm still feeling quite good and having fun, so I think we can continue for a bit. It's really nice to sort of see the things come together instead of like Hannibal, you know. I love it when a plan works together. I don't know. I never watched the original A-Team, so I probably shouldn't quote it. Too young for that. All my time. It's just a wee lad. Wee laddie. Still thinking about adding some stuff to this highway. Maybe some sort of a border or things that create that border. But I will probably have to make some sort of a grid or a couple of perspective lines. So let's just grab white brush, and let's say that this is our focal point. Correct? I don't think so. I think this is the horizon line. Probably. Maybe a little bit lower. Let's say it's here. Yeah, this definitely helps. Let's try to find the vanishing point. Somewhere around here. This horizon line isn't correct. Get rid of it. Create a new layer. Because I think it's quite important to have a perspective grid. This one. So the place where all these lines cross, that's gonna be our focal point, and from there on we get our horizon line. So we were a bit too high with the horizon line. That's a rectangle. And from here on we can just make our grid. And as you can see, the ship doesn't match our grid at all. So that's actually good. Or not good, because it should, but that way we can now we can make the grid, and then we can fix it later. And we probably should have a grid for this too. So every now and then when we want to check the perspective, we can just turn on this layer, and then probably should lock it, because then we cannot turn it on or off. As you can see, if we want to do the ship like this, then this is sort of the way to go. That way we know the perspective. So if we want to redo it with the right perspective, like this. And of course there are all different angles to the ship. That's if the ship is a rectangle, but probably is thinner or wider at the back than at the front, for instance, and then the perspective suddenly is correct. Problem is, for instance, with this one should be really different. This is the right perspective for a ship here. So it doesn't really make much different for that a difference for that one, but for this one it definitely does. Oh, I want this on a new layer. There, because let's just add a box. And if we could say, you know what, this is good, but if we want the ship to be here, for instance, we can just grab the box and warp it to the right perspective. We could even flip it and put it here. So yeah, that's probably good. Let's get rid of this thing and create a little box there. That is going to be our ship. Yeah, this is quite time consuming, or can be quite time consuming. But I think it's really good to sort of check that, because perspective just it's important. So. And we kind of get a bit of the remnants of that ship to color that building. Same goes for here. You can use it to add some variety, and of course this is too dark, but okay, we can easily get rid. Go. So let's copy the box over. I'm not sure if I want to keep it on that side, by the way. I might get rid of it. There we go. And then we can turn that into a nice nice looking spaceship. So yeah, the perspective is better, I think. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day anyway. I was planning on streaming for a little bit longer, but it's not gonna work out today. Well, 2 hours. It's a decent sized stream. Of course, we streamed the first half an hour without sound, but hopefully that won't happen ever again. Probably will, but we'll see. On Friday we will continue with these. I might do some tinkering with them between streams, especially with this one. Not too much. I'm not sure whether we will work on all 4 of them on Friday, or if I pick 1 or 2 and continue with 1 or 2. Because I really like this one, and I think we can make a really nice painting out of it. Also like this one, but I also start to really like this one. I think in terms of composition, it's quite interesting. And I kind of want to see where it goes. This one not so much. I don't know. In terms of composition, it's not that strong, I think. Well, these two are basically the same in terms of composition. So yeah, On Friday I will continue, probably with all 4 of them. I will try to do another 2-hour stream, maybe a little bit longer, but who knows. Maybe we'll do a short stream on Wednesday as well. I might do that, but we'll see. For now, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And I hope to see you next one. Bye.